Impact Magazine captures the integral moments that catapulted these phenomenal individuals to walk in their purpose.
I first knew that I would be an entrepreneur when I was 7 years old. My uncle was an entrepreneur. He was the patriarch of our family. He had a red Audi. And I said, I don't know completely what it is to be an entrepreneur, but I want to be that, and I want to drive an Audi. Before I was an entrepreneur, I was first a single mother. I had my first child when I was 18 years old. I gave up a scholarship to go to Howard University, completely dedicated myself to taking care of my daughter. And so I started off in the hair industry. When I was in high school, I graduated from Mercer County Vocational School as a cosmetologist. That didn't work for me because people did not want to come to get hair care back then. Back then, taking care of your hair was not the deal. You just wanted the end result. And I found myself struggling in the game because that's just not what people wanted. And so I transitioned into corporate America. I was in customer service for years, and prior to becoming a full-time entrepreneur, the last position I held was I worked my way up into management at Merrill Lynch, and I was there for 12 years in the financial services industry, just working my way through, not knowing a thing, but still doing what I knew how to do, which is being successful at whatever I put my hands in, and that worked for me. I first met my husband, and we transitioned from the New Jersey area to the DMV area, and I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I gave up everything so that he could do what he wanted to do. And he was just like, do whatever you want to do. And I was like, I have to have a plan. I didn't have one. It's been 8 years, I still don't have one, but I'm making it work. And so I am also a licensed massage therapist. So I began in that area with my massage practice. My first location was around the corner from the White House in DC, and it was just part-time. And my clientele started to grow, and they were like, we can't keep coming, you're not available enough. These people were like seriously looking to support and love the work that I was doing, the body work that I was doing for them. And so they wanted me full time, and that's what I did. And so I opened up a massage practice on King Street in Alexandria, in Old Town Alexandria. Not a lot of black businesses there, and so to be a young black business owner in the heart of Alexandria, Old Town Alexandria, it was a big deal. And that worked for me for a little bit. And then I had another baby, and that was kind of out of the way, and so I transitioned out of that and went into making products. Ajay Naturals. My first product was a wave pomade for the hair because I always cut my hair into a Caesar and wear it in the waves, my waves thinning. And so just the notoriety that I got from that, it just became a bigger thing than I ever imagined. And then it just went from there, just making the different products. The latest products that I launched is a hair care line. And it came about because with my baby girl, her hair would not grow, her scalp would itch, it would bleed. I'm a master herbalist, and I started dipping and dabbing into herbs and doing what I know to do. And I came up with an oil that helped heal her scalp, but it didn't cure what was going on up underneath her scalp. Her scalp needed, there was something going on that needed healing. And so I developed the shampoo, the leave-in hair milk. There's a leave-in detangler, a curling pudding for styling, as well as a Moroccan oil. And now her hair has gone from like to having nothing to literally beneath her shoulder blade within a matter of 3 years. When I was 18, I heard God say, you're gonna be an employer. And I didn't know who I was gonna employ. I didn't know what I was gonna employ them to do, but I knew that this was spoken over my life, and I will do what I need to do to get to that point. I opened a store in St. Charles Mall in Waldorf, Maryland. It's called J Fire & Co. And I have 3 employees. So I've built a great team. I have an assistant and I have 2 sales associates for the store. It's one thing to open a store, but it's another to open a store with all the products that you make. And so I have done the best that I possibly can to come up with a schedule to kind of get everything in order. Otherwise, we could never be successful at what we do. So J Fire & Co. is me. J coming from Jacqueline. Fire is the F-I in Fire is Fields, my maiden name. And the R-E in Fire is Reed, which is my married name. I first kind of dubbed that name when I published my first book. I have a 90-day book of affirmations called She Is, Affirmations for a Virtuous Woman. And so I'm like, I wanted something that just didn't say Jacqueline Reed. I wanted something that was just like, boom, well, who is this? J Fire, right? With building that, I have a few companies up underneath J Fire & Co. And so I wanted to kind of have that parent company to bring everything together. But a lot of people thought that J Fire & Co. was J Fire & Company, and it's not. It's J Fire & Community. Without the community and without giving back and reaching back and pulling people in, there is no J Fire & Co. I'm all for community service and giving back. Every year I give a scholarship to a child going into college, and I try to, this year I implemented it whereas they would be going into an HBCU because I'm trying to push HBCUs. I myself just graduated in May, summa cum laude, from Hampton University. And so it meant something for me to show my kids that you can always continue to learn and that HBCUs are for us. And so these are the things that I like to do as a community. We had a coat drive for my grand opening. We're doing something where we're giving back food to the homeless. So these are the things that we try to do as a community to build up our community, because nobody's coming to save us. My daughter Chance has a line of vegan nail polish that we are debuting in our store. The name of my daughter's vegan nail polish is Chance Ajay. That's her entire brand. So everything falls under Chance Ajay. This came about because I want to teach my kids what entrepreneurship is about. I want them to be able to create their own path. Doesn't necessarily have to be my path, but I actually asked her, what is it that you would like to do? And this is what she said. She's 5 years old, and this is what she told me she wanted to do. And so as her parent, as her mother, I made it happen for her. She also has a book that's out on our website, By Chance, Affirmations for the Babies. It's a book of affirmations and coloring book for kids. This book came out about 3 years ago. So her book will be in the store as well as the nail polish. And the nail polish is a big thing. We're gonna have kids coming in, teaching them entrepreneurship and having them kind of be sales reps on her behalf to go out and sell her nail polish. Find your niche. Do what it is that you want to do. Come up with a plan, find a mentor, someone who won't compete with you, but who will truly mentor you. But don't take advice from everybody. Once you come up with that plan, you have to do what you have to do for yourself. And you have to know your numbers also. Don't just come up with something because you're following what someone's doing on Instagram, or you're seeing someone else successful at something and you figure, okay, I'm gonna take a shot at that. Create your own brand. Be unique in what it is that you're trying to do. There's no new thing under the sun, but if you contour something to your life and your passion, you can be successful at whatever you put your hands to.
My name is Vanessa Simmons. I am a mother, I'm an actress, and I'm a businesswoman. For as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be in the fashion industry, in the fashion business. I had that example growing up watching my uncle dominate hip-hop and fuse hip-hop and fashion, and then with Kimora bringing baby fat to the forefront. And Since watching that, I've always wanted to contribute to our legacy in the fashion world. And my sister and I created Pastry together when I was just 22 years old, fresh out of college, obsessed with marketing is really what got me into it. That was my favorite course in college. I was a major at St. John's University in communications and business, and I became obsessed with marketing. And I was watching simultaneously as I was taking these classes, I'm watching Kimora build baby fat, and I'm putting it together. I'm like, okay, so that's what it is. And the minute we had a chance, the minute we saw an opportunity and a void in the market, we went into sneakers because that's what our family did. That was the family business, but we wanted to add our own mark to it. And we wanted it to be something for young girls to be able to look up to and know that they can start their own businesses. Like, yes, we were selling sneakers and it was fun and we marketed it right, but it was meant to be an aspirational brand. At the time, there weren't a lot of young people who had their own businesses running, and we wanted to be that example. And I feel like we did it back then. I feel like a lot of other businesses, young people started their businesses and saw an example of something that they can be. And so Pastry was always meant to be aspirational, and it was meant to add to my family's legacy, and that's what I plan on doing, you know, as my daughter is growing and now she's 6 years old and she's super into fashion. I want to be able to leave her something that meant something. I feel like now more than ever, our young people needs that motivation and know that movement is the thing and the energy that creates life. And so our new Pastry sneakers are meant to support movement. And we're still gonna uphold those values the company had in the very beginning, but now it's evolved. I'm excited to really bring that to the forefront. People love to say, oh, you're bringing Pastry back. That's not necessarily true. Pastry in March is going on being a 15-year-old company. And after my sister and I left in 2012, because we were young, you know, we wanted to explore other avenues in our life and see, you know, what was out there. So we left the company in 2012, but the company never stopped running. It became very dominant in the dance and cheer world. So you'll see Pastry on NFL cheerleaders, NBA cheerleaders, and the technology that has been built behind the sneaker now has evolved so much from where the brand began. So I'm excited to take on this new task as creative director again of Pastry and bring it back into pop culture where it belongs and back to a place of making sure that it's inspiring the generation that's coming up behind us. You know, my daughter is the hugest inspiration for me and in that sector. So I want to be sure that we are leaving behind something to empower her generation so she can empower her generation like my dad gave me the opportunity to empower my generation. That is my purpose here. I've come from a very privileged place. I don't deny that, but I do know that because I come from that place, it's my job, and I just feel like my mission is to empower and to inspire, you know, people to live their very best life, the life that they can only dream of. It can be real.